to accept the fact that your toes are ugly. There's nothing you can do. They look like, those old World War I soldiers with the backpack. Anyway, I'm going to give you 3 more questions, and then I'm going to switch it a bit. Okay? Similar like the ones we did earlier today. So this becomes question 3 or question 4 in your notes. Find the coefficient of x raised to the 4th in the expansion of 5 minus 2x all raised to the power of 7. So I hope you have an idea. We are only looking for the coefficient of x to the 4th. We are not writing for the first or second. We are not expanding the thing. Understand that? Then question 5. Find a term in x to the 6th in the expression of (3 plus 5x squared raised to the power of 10. There's a little bit of a trick there. And question 6. So I gave you 3 more in earlier. So
is it 3 good?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a trick there. Involves a bit of thinking. In the expression of in brackets 2 minus k to the x raised to the power of 5 the coefficient of x squared is 4 times. Find the value of k given that k is not equal to 0. 3 questions, 3 solutions. I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Nothing to fear.
How's it getting along? Are you getting along fine? Are you struggling? Coefficient of x to the 4 in the expansion of, so we are simply looking at NCR, blah blah blah. What is N? Can you come and do it? Come. This one? Remember, we are not looking for the term, but we're looking for the coefficient of that. But you're using the x to the 4 with something. Okay. You still remember a plus b raised to the n, the general formula. So if you have n0, a to the n, but now you've got b to the 0. You move it plus n c1 b 1 plus dot 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 dot. So the last one will just be b to the n,
What is it?
which effectively just becomes that. It's not so. So if this is the first term, that is the second term, and so on. Just as a matter of question. When you are looking for the term, you realize that there is something here that you need to consider. So when you are told that expansion, you're looking at the coefficient of x to the 4th, then it's going to be something like what? What is the first order of business that you're going to have?
7.
See what?
The first
Yeah.
C4.
Okay. Wonderful. Not bad. Let's consider our answer. Let's see what we have done here. So you have got, remember this, you are looking for this in x, right? This in x, for it to be having a power of 4, it has to be 7c4. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? 7 obviously coming from what you have there, binomial raised to, and c4 obviously there, and there to correspond. But there's a little bit of a trick with the second one. You follow what I'm saying? So you can't, at the second one, you can't go and say 10c what? 6.
Because it's already.
You understand? So you have to look at that one a little bit carefully. Right? So once we are here, remember, the first term obviously is going to have whatever n minus whatever this 7 minus 4, because the two indices, they must add up to give you that value. That's a constant. This is a constant term. Right? Minus 2 raised to the power 4 is a constant term. Now, here's the thing that you must always remember so you don't ever make a mistake. Whenever you have a negative and you raise it to an even index, then the value becomes positive. You understand? But had this been an odd index and this is negative somehow, I would be pulling out that negative. You follow? Because I will get an answer as a negative.
Yeah.
So the coefficient of x to the 4th will be 70,000. So what do you do here? Who wants to come and try this one?
Yeah, do it.
She wants to come? Come. She's enjoying this stuff. Come. Just what you were thinking. The same reasoning here that you apply. Let's see. There is a girl on fire. Chalk is there. Five. Okay, just stop there. From indices, right? What do we know are we supposed to do here? You're multiplying them. Is it not so? The laws of indices, if you have x squared or something raised to more, then you multiply the indices. Now, this is going to effectively give you, this here will give you x to the power 8, which already is not the x to the power 6 that we were looking for. So it's supposed to be what? Good. Hello, let's use dusters now. There's a duster right there. Or even, let's take it off. Right. So if, how else will you find, yes, how will you find that? So maybe you can first of all do this. Yeah? Just in a little bit, just pay attention. So you get this, because it's a little bit tricky. So you take the x squared. You want to know to what should you raise it to? Maybe I'll make this a k, all right? Yeah. For this to become x raised to the power of 6. That's maybe what you can do. And that k is going to be this value. So maybe I will make it an r, because it's the r. Is it not so? So then you get, okay, wait a minute. This is going to be 2r equals to 6, so obviously we can drop the basis. And then you know that r is equal to 3. And now you have that 3 there. So I'm going to leave it, and you can continue from this part 4. Because we started there already. Constant. Just be careful here. That is 5 cubed. So you can actually punch this in right on your calculator. Straight. 10cv times 3 to the 7 times 5 cubed. Do you understand? And then you, here we are only looking for the term. So the x to the power 6 should be included. Does that make sense? Because we're not looking for the coefficient. Here you have to go in and say the coefficient of x to the 4 is this. Write it down. 32 million. Yeah, you get the same answer. There you go.
It's even the fourth one. Because I know my R is 1.
Okay. So when you get something like this, just try to bring this into play. Okay. Sometimes you can see just by inspection, wait a minute, this has to be 3. But remember now what she did, which is a mistake that anybody can do. She was not making it a 4 because in her mind she was adding the 2 plus the 4 to give you x to the power 6. But the laws of indices, and this is quite important because we are going to have to find R. We are going slowly to those type of questions. So just make sure that your algebra is sound from our experiences with indices. Okay? Can we look at this one?
What's the answer, sir?
-4.
Let's see.
Okay, let's do it together. Okay, we have got quite a lot to do. I believe that you have done right in this time. So maybe you can guide me, tell us what to do right. Because right now I can see you guys are getting it. You must find a way not to forget these things. That's why you need to do the work. You need to do the work, right? In the expression 2 minus kx all raised to the power 5, the coefficient of x squared. Now, I don't have a problem because there's nothing on this, right? So I can go ahead and say, wait a minute, 5c, are you with me? 2. You're together with me. 5c2. You're with me. Then this one here should be raised to the power of 2. Then this 2 here should be raised to the power of what? 3, because they should give you. Right. Let's find out what that is. They say. Second, this answer, whatever this answer is, it is 4 times.
I see.
So it's similar to the other stuff that we did. The coefficient of x, 5c what?
1.
5c1, which is just 5, right? Then obviously I'm going to have minus kx, obviously raised to the power of 1. And my 2 raised to the power of what? Of 4. Right? So let me clean this up and I can drop the excess It's not necessary for that anymore. No?
Should be negative.
So what is this answer here? No, this answer will be positive. Because
No, I mean this one.
negative kx squared becomes positive kx
80.
squared.
80k
So this is 80
k
k.
squared.
Let's square for the k. So we drop the x. We don't want the x, right? Just using it to find our NCR.
Negative.
So this whole stuff here, what do you get?
Negative 320.
Negative 320 k. Clear? Divide both sides by
K.
not just by k.
80k. Oh, 80k.
Remember, we are trying to let's take it step by step. Okay. Let's divide both sides by what? By k. Is that fine? Okay. So that we don't get confused, huh?
Yes.
So this is going to lead to 80k equals to minus 320. 80k. Now you are going to divide by
80. Which is negative 2.
So therefore,
The
k equals to what? Negative.
Where did you get this point?
Doesn't matter where I got it. The fact of the matter is, it's a very interesting question. What did you do? You got stuck somewhere? It's similar like the other one, right? You got to do what? And you got to the same answer. Why are you breaking the things?
Here's another one.
Yeah, you're enjoying them now, huh? I'll give you more. I'll give you more. By the way, I hope you have done the homework that I gave you yesterday. That I said you must
We
do.
wouldn't be able to answer this question.
You'll not be able to answer them.
If
If what?
we didn't do that one.
Of course. And that is why I didn't focus, because you realize that expansion, Pascal's triangle is too much. You understand? But you had to do that in order to understand what we're doing today. Alright. That is why the time I posted the corrections of the homework was like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You see that? If you check, are you even checking the work and post them to the group? I understand you have got the Kamagochi of a phone, so you don't get the stuff. But I'm going to try to put them in a group in a folder, and then I can print out, and then you can put it in your files under the various topics. No? This is fine. Who can I give that job? I'll put all of them, and then Andy will go and put them in folders. You think you can do that? Okay. I want to talk briefly about the general term. And in this particular case, before we get to that, let's look at try now 44. Right. Are you, which part are you writing?
So when you add the indices,
In laws of indices, when you are multiplying and the bases are the same, right? So x raised to the power of 2 times x raised to the power of 4, here you will be adding the indices. But x squared raised to the power of 4, it actually means x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. That's what it means. Can you see that? So now if you are applying that law now you are going to add that. That gives you x to the what? It gives you x to the. So when you add them here, you get x to the
8.
But you can simply find it by saying, simply doing that, multiplying, and then it's still going to give you the same. You understand? So it is very important, the question that you ask, because we're going to use that more now when we want to find the R. You understand? In our business. And when we find R, then we use the same reasoning. If I say find x to the power 4. You understand? Or x to the 6. But before we do those type of questions, that is based from try now 46. That is the stuff that I'm talking about, right? Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Fraction.
I want us to look at try now 44 in the book. Okay. If everything is fine, you can.
So I like the weather.
You like?
The weather.
Well, he says he likes the weather. The weather is together.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah. You follow? Yeah. When you realize it's in a joke, we finish this talk. Alright? But then that is why I say refer also to the syllabus so you can know exactly what it is that we are doing under that. There are some things that are what's going on.
What do you play?
Anna? Electric shock. You get shock. Electric shock.
Short waves.
Oh, okay. You are negatively charged or positively
So
charged.
you were by the other.
You want the one with the quadratic.
Yeah, I want to see.
Okay, let's look at triangle 44. And the way they are giving it. You know, I don't particularly like that, but at least they are saying the first 4 terms of the expansion. Triangle 44. It says,
Ascending.
finding ascending powers of A.
Ascending.
No, it's not A, but it's what is the letter here?
X.
X. The first
Water.
4 terms of in the expansion of the quantity 1 minus 2 raised to the power of x. But this is the first one, huh? Maybe I should just write it nicely.
Yeah, just right.
1 minus, is it 2x? Raised to the 10. In fact, let's look at that. We are supposed to do the expansion of the first 4 terms. So this becomes, listen, 10c0, right? 1 to the 10, 1 minus 2x to the 0. Are you with me? Okay. So it's minus, so you must be careful. But remember what I said, I'm going to use minus.
Isn't it the minus?
Yeah, but just check what I'm doing because I want to do it step by step so you can get an idea.
You're going to add
Alright, exactly. So I'm going to have here 10c1, 1 raised to the power of 9. Of course, this 1 you will let. It's just anything will work. But let me just do it for now and then step by step, okay? And then obviously it's going to be the quantity 1 minus 2x raised to the 1 because it should be 10, right?
Yes.
So that's term 1, term 2. Are you with me? Okay, because we have to go up to 4 terms.
So we're including the whole term. 1 minus 2.
Of course. I actually saw on the face of Mercedes, but she doesn't talk. So sorry, I did not take my little pay. I took the whole term. Is that fine? Are we happy now?
Yeah.
Apologies! I don't hear exactly. Plus 10c2. Now this is the third term, no? 1 to the 8 minus 2x raised to the power 2. Plus 10c3. This is now the fourth term I'm busy with. Are you with me?
I see.
1 to the 7 minus 2x raised to the power of 3. Plus dot 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 and so on and so on and so on. Okay, right. So anyway, this one here is just going to be 1. Are we all together?
Yes.
This one is just 1.
Straightforward.
10c1 is equal to 10. Okay? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay? So this is going to be minus 20. Do you agree?
I see.
Now I have a positive 1. What is 10c2?
45.
25.
45.
45 times negative 2. No, wait a minute, that one is squared. No? Negative 2 squared becomes positive 4. 25 times 4 is 100?
80.
100.
180.
180.
Yeah.
I was saying 25 times what?
45 times.
45, 180. X squared, they're increasing.
Yes.
Now, we are busy with which term? 1, 2, 3, we are busy with the fourth term.
Fourth term.
So it's going to be a minus.
Yes.
10C3 is equal to what?
120.
120
Yes.
times negative 8.
Negative 960.
Negative 960 what?
So 60.
X cubed. Dot, dot, dot. Find the first four terms. The 1, the 2, the 3.
4 marks.
4 marks. Are we happy?
So what if the sign is wrong?
Well, if the sign is wrong, you will have serious problems. Obviously, you get penalized now.
So I just,
We don't compromise the
what
A.
I did, I just,
Say what?
I just do my science before I start to do.
Yeah, look at the sign. But if you follow this, it should not be a problem. But you should also do this with the knowledge of. That is why when I was giving you that question from the specimen paper, you had to know that the terms will alternate, the signs will alternate. And also, what you also cleverly need to see there is that you had to swap the term in X to be your B term.
Like if they said descending.
So for example,
If they said descending.
if this was written as 2x minus 2x plus 1, right? But this is powers of x in ascending, so we need to swap it around so that you can identify what your B should be and what your A should be in the general, you understand? Binomial expansion. Okay. Then there is a B part. So the B part, I'm going to write it here. Still the same thing, but they are saying it's 1 minus 2x minus 4x squared all raised to the power of 10. Okay? What is the first thing you do? You factorize here. In order for you to have two terms now.
I say I'll take 2x.
Isn't that so?
Yes, I'll take 2x.
So I'm going to have 1 minus 2x,
Yeah.
which is looking exactly like that one there.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and I'm going to have what? 1 minus
Plus
plus 2
x.
x all raised to the power of 10.
Did I get that? So can we just write the blue 2x?
You want me to write this one in blue?
No, just the 2x in there.
This one?
No, just the one in front of the blue.
This one?
Yeah, let's just write this one in blue.
But the reason I want that to be blue is because I want it to be here because we are going to use the coefficients here.
This one is separate the two binomial.
Did you hear what he said? Can you explain to Mr. Bradley?
I just want the two terms because to be write the 2x in there and then the two terms. One is 1 and the other one is together 2x. Like that, 1 plus 2x.
Okay, what you were saying when you do it there? There, far from my working. So let's hear what he's saying. He's also sit down and explaining the whole time like this. It's going to be crazy. How many times do you want to color? Oh, okay. You can also have a look at the example if you are a bit confused there, right? If you look at the example, you'll see that it's a very similar question. Now, to look at the coefficients that you have, the coefficients 1, negative 9, 36, 84. So we're going to use our coefficients 1, negative 20, positive 180, minus 960. But every time now, in front of those coefficients of us, right, we're going to replace. We're going to replace what? Look nicely. We're going to replace what?
That's the question.
I'm listening.
Yes, this is what I want.
Okay, explain.
Because this is always separate. I just want two terms. So I know this is my, for example, A, B,
Or you want to know your B and the difference between A and your B?
Yeah. So minus and plus will be.
If you can convince Mr. Bradley, I will
Understand?
clap hands for you.
This is like one term, this is another term.
In the minus.
The signs of the yeah. Understand?
I don't think they can. They are just going to say yes, we understand. But I don't think
So
they can.
B is negative 2x.
Yeah. Clearly, yeah. It's so clearly. Yeah.
Alright. So we are going to use what he was doing, right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's the part that we are going to use. And we're going to put them, that whole stuff, in front of our coefficients. Right? So if I put it in front of the 1, it becomes x to the power 0. So it's not needed for us to put it there. You understand? Taking that whole thing in yellow, put it in front of the 1 to the power 0. Because the powers of x, they are supposed to do what? They are supposed to increase. You follow? Right, so I'm just going to write the first one is 1. So I'm going to, it's minus. So now I have 20. So in place of x, we are going to replace that business. Then I have plus 180. Alright? But now this is x to the power 1. You follow?
Yes.
So we're going to have again that the same business, which is going to be,
Yeah. Raised to the 2.
and it was a plus, so this is going to be a minus. But this is going to be what? Square. Are you with me so far? I'm running out of space, so I'm coming here. So this is going to be what? 9 minus 960.
Yes.
So the minus is there, remember?
Yes.
And then I'm going to have whatever that is, cubed. That's all. Right? You follow?